Hello, in this short lecture I will give you a couple of reasons for the non-existence of God. The first reason why God doesn't exist is that God is perfect and that it is impossible that He would have created a world that is so imperfect. And the second reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created the human beings that are capable to do evil and wrong things and crimes and sins and so on, because God is perfect, and from that reason He would have created creatures that are not capable to do evil and wrong doings at all. And we can also ask the simple question why God would have created the human beings from the beginning. So does have nothing to do but to create something and then put it to the test. So what is the purpose in doing this? Because of the fact that God is omnipotent, He could have created creatures that are perfect and that they will never do evil and bad things at all. And in addition, we should remember that God knows the future, and from that reason God knew that the human beings will do crimes and bad things and evil and will be violent and so on. And from that reason he could have never created such a thing because of the fact that he himself is perfect. So from that we can deduce that God didn't create the human beings, and from that reason we can deduce that God doesn't exist. The third reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created such a reality that there is so much violence and cruelty and deaths and murders and so much poverty and hunger and human sufferings and also so much natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods and hurricanes and so on. So God would have never created such a reality and such a world with so much bad things. Okay, and the fourth reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created such a reality that the very existence of the predator is dependent in his ability to kill the prey, to kill another animal. It has a lot of quality in that thing, and God would have never created such an injustice. Okay, and the fifth reason why God doesn't exist is that there are actually three monotheistic religions. Monotheistic is defined as a belief in one God, or the oneness of God. And those three religions are actually the Judaism, the Christianity, and the Islam. And they are contradict each other in the creation, in the description of the creation of the world. And they also don't have the same God. The God of the Christianity is not the same God as the God of the Judaism or the God of the Islam. And from that reason we can deduce that all of the three religions, all of the three monotheistic religions are not true, they are fake, they are the invention of the human beings themselves. And so is the God. The God was created by the human beings. It is the invention of the human beings, and God doesn't exist at all. Okay, and the sixth, and the last reason why God doesn't exist at all, it is actually a logic reason. We can say that logically it is impossible that God exists, from the simple reason that we can ask a simple question: if God is able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift, if the answer to that question is positive, then we can deduce that God is not able to do something. That is to say, God is not able to lift the stone that he himself created. And from this thing we can deduce that God is not omnipotent. And if the answer to that question is negative, we can say that God is not able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift. And from that reason we can deduce the same conclusion, that God is not omnipotent. And from that example we can deduce that there is no such an entity that it is omnipotent, so that omnipotent being never exists. Okay, and so from that we can say that we can conclude that God doesn't exist at all, and actually that were all the reasons that explain why God doesn't exist at all. Okay, thank you very much.